In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the Galactic Coalition rules over the stars with an iron grip. Composed of highly advanced alien species, they dominate trade, warfare, and technology across countless star systems. Among these elite civilizations are the Vargans and the Xanthari, two of the oldest and most powerful species. To them, the universe is theirs to control, and any species that dares challenge their supremacy is swiftly eliminated or subjugated. Humanity, a relatively young species from the Outer Rim, is barely noticed by the Coalition. When mentioned, it's often with disdain. The Vargans and the Xanthari, along with other alien races, consider humans a child race. While most members of the Galactic Coalition had achieved faster-than-light travel millennia ago, humanity had only recently ventured beyond their solar system. Their ships were considered embarrassingly primitive, their technology ancient compared to the sleek, hyper-advanced vessels of the galactic elite. Human ships were notoriously mocked. They were slow, clunky, and relied on chemical propulsion, a technology so outdated it was often compared to prehistoric tools. The sight of a human ship limping through space was enough to spark laughter in alien bars and council chambers. The aliens took pride in their sleek, faster-than-light ships, vessels that could cross star systems in hours while human ships would take days or even weeks. The comparison was brutal. Humanity's attempts at space exploration were seen as futile gestures, akin to an ant trying to climb a mountain. Even more humiliating were humanity's attempts to defend their colonies or stake a claim in resource-rich regions of space. The few skirmishes that had taken place between humans and alien forces were laughable to the Coalition. In these brief encounters, human ships would break down, misfire, or simply fail to keep up with their alien counterparts. In one infamous incident, a human ship's engine stalled mid-battle, leaving it floating helplessly while alien forces obliterated its defense systems. That incident had become a running joke across the galaxy. In tactical terms, human ships were outclassed in every possible way. Their weapons lacked the precision and firepower of alien armaments. Their targeting systems were rudimentary, often missing the mark or causing friendly fire incidents. In contrast, alien ships boasted cutting-edge AI targeting systems, plasma-based weapons, and energy shields that made them nearly invulnerable to human attacks. The most advanced human missiles could barely scratch the shields of even the smallest alien fighter craft. The galaxy's view of humanity solidified after these encounters. They were no threat. The Coalition saw no need to take humans seriously, as they posed no real challenge. Their only value to the Coalition was as a minor trade partner for some exotic Earth minerals. Some Coalition members even debated whether it was worth continuing any form of diplomatic relations with Earth, as the humans clearly had nothing to offer in terms of military strength or technological advancements. However, beneath the surface of this mockery, there was a growing tension on Earth. While the average human citizen remained largely unaware of the greater galactic politics, Earth's military and political leaders were increasingly alarmed. They knew that the ridicule and small defeats were just the beginning. The Galactic Coalition might not view humanity as a threat now, but what if they decided humanity's resources were worth taking? What if they simply grew tired of Earth's presence in the galaxy? Humanity was vulnerable. Its colonies were scattered, poorly defended, and often isolated. Its fleet was outdated, as the rest of the galaxy was well aware. Earth had limited military resources compared to the vast armadas of the Coalition. Any serious invasion from the Coalition would likely result in humanity's swift extinction. In secret, military strategists and political leaders held meetings to discuss the future. There were growing rumors of hidden projects, classified military initiatives aimed at creating a more advanced fleet, one that could at least defend Earth from a possible invasion. But these rumors were just whispers, circulating within the highest levels of Earth's government. Most citizens went about their lives, oblivious to the existential threat lurking just beyond their atmosphere. While Earth's leaders planned in secret, they continued to allow their outdated fleet to operate as a facade, maintaining the illusion of weakness. This strategic decision was based on one critical factor: the element of surprise. The galaxy believed humanity was helpless. If the coalition ever did decide to strike, they would be walking into a carefully prepared trap. Little did the galaxy know that humanity's most brilliant scientists and engineers had been working in isolation for years, designing ships that would one day rival or surpass the technology of the coalition. These ships were being built in secret locations, far from prying eyes, hidden in asteroid fields and deep space outposts. They were more than just warships, they were humanity's hope for survival. Despite the growing concerns within the government, there was still an eerie calm on Earth. The average person wasn't preparing for war, and the media remained blissfully unaware of the discussions happening in the highest circles of power. Earth was at peace for now. But it was a fragile peace, one that could be shattered with a single wrong move by the coalition. And the galaxy, confident in its superiority, continued to laugh at humanity's expense. The Vargans, the Xanthari, and their allies were too arrogant to consider the possibility that they might one day face a human fleet capable of challenging them. The coalition couldn't know, that the ridicule they so freely offered would one day come back to haunt them. As the galaxy mocked and laughed, Earth waited patiently, its hidden fleet growing stronger in the shadows. What the coalition failed to understand was that humanity had always thrived under pressure. They had always been underestimated, only to rise stronger than before. The aliens had no idea what was coming. In the end, it would be their own arrogance that would lead them to ruin. And humanity's hidden fleet, once the subject of scorn, would soon emerge from the darkness, ready to take its place in the galaxy. The coalition believed it knew everything there was to know about humans, but in truth, they knew nothing at all. For decades, humanity had been operating in the shadows, concealing its true potential from the prying eyes of the galaxy. Deep within the secretive corners of Earth's military, a covert division of engineers, scientists, and military strategists had been working relentlessly on a project so secret that even most of Earth's leadership was unaware of its full scope. These black projects were designed to ensure that, should the worst come to pass, humanity would not be defenseless. This group of brilliant minds was tasked with a singular goal: develop technology far beyond anything humanity had ever produced. They were fully aware of the mockery their current fleet endured, and they understood that to survive, humanity needed to outthink and outmaneuver the alien coalition. Earth's leaders had made a calculated decision to let their aging fleet serve as a decoy. While the galaxy ridiculed their primitive ships, the real work was happening far from view. The defeats and skirmishes were intentional, serving to solidify the galaxy's belief in humanity's weakness. It was all part of the plan. Hidden in the most remote regions of the solar system were the shipyards where humanity's true fleet was being constructed. These shipyards were located in places no one would ever think to look, nestled in asteroid belts, shielded by the immense gravity wells of gas giants, and camouflaged within the icy rings of distant moons. Cloaking technologies, developed in secret, ensured that even the most advanced alien surveillance systems could not detect these facilities. From the outside, they appeared as nothing more than ordinary celestial formations, natural and unremarkable. Inside these hidden shipyards, human engineers had been quietly constructing the most advanced warships humanity had ever seen. These ships were built using a combination of human ingenuity and alien technology, reverse-engineered over the years through covert operations and black market deals. The engineers had taken the best elements of alien design and fused them with human resilience, creativity, and determination. This combination gave rise to ships that were not only on par with the best the galaxy had to offer, but in many ways superior. At the heart of the new fleet was the revolutionary hybrid propulsion system. This system allowed for faster-than-light travel that rivaled, and in some cases exceeded, the capabilities of the Galactic Coalition's ships. The propulsion system was based on alien principles, but the humans had taken it further, making it more efficient and adaptable to the needs of their fleet. No longer would human ships limp across the galaxy. Now, they could strike anywhere at a moment's notice, with speed and precision. Defense was another area where the engineers had outdone themselves. The new ships were equipped with multi-layered shields, a technology that layered multiple energy fields to absorb and disperse enemy fire. These shields were superior to anything currently used by the Coalition, making human ships far more resilient in battle. In addition to this, the fleet was equipped with quantum weaponry, a new class of armament capable of piercing even the most advanced alien defense systems. These weapons had been meticulously designed to exploit the weaknesses in alien technology, allowing for devastating strikes that could disable or destroy enemy vessels with pinpoint accuracy. All of this had been achieved in total secrecy. The Coalition, confident in its own superiority, had no idea what humanity had been building in the shadows. To the galaxy, humans were still the bumbling species struggling to keep up, their ships outdated relics of a bygone era. This arrogance was exactly what Earth's leaders were counting on. As the alien coalition grew more and more confident in their dominance, humanity's fleet was nearing completion, hidden in plain sight, ready to be deployed when the time came. The final preparations were now underway. The hidden fleet, composed of thousands of warships, was fully operational. The last few years had been spent fine-tuning every system, testing every weapon, and ensuring that the fleet would be ready to fight when called upon. The engineers, military leaders, and scientists who had worked on the project knew that they had created something extraordinary. They had taken the mockery and disdain from the galaxy and turned it into fuel for their success. But despite the fleet's readiness, Earth's leaders were cautious. They knew that revealing their strength too soon would be a grave mistake. The fleet had to remain hidden until the perfect moment, when the alien coalition was fully committed to an invasion. Only then could humanity strike back with full force, turning the tables on their overconfident enemies. For now, Earth maintained the facade of weakness. They continued to send out their outdated ships, allowing them to participate in minor skirmishes and patrols, further solidifying the coalition's belief that humanity was no threat. The real fleet remained cloaked, its ships scattered across the solar system, waiting for the day when they would be called into action. Earth's military leadership held tense meetings, weighing their options carefully. The decision had already been made. The fleet would remain dormant until the coalition made the first move. If the aliens believed they could simply waltz into human territory and take what they wanted, they would be in for the shock of their lives. The element of surprise was humanity's greatest weapon, and they intended to use it to full effect. As the galaxy continued to turn, oblivious to the storm brewing in the outer solar system, the leaders of Earth watched and waited. The alien coalition was too arrogant to notice what was right under their noses. They believed humanity was defenseless, a minor annoyance at best. In reality, Earth's leaders had been preparing for this moment for decades. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. They had underestimated humanity from the beginning, and now, when the time was right, Earth's hidden fleet would emerge from the shadows, ready to fight, ready to show the galaxy just how wrong they had been. The alien coalition had always seen humanity as little more than a nuisance, an inferior species far behind in technological development. But as time passed, whispers of human advancements began to spread. Though largely dismissed as rumors, some within the coalition started to take notice. Earth had been developing new technologies, improving their manufacturing capabilities, and quietly expanding their influence in the outer systems. The coalition's leaders, particularly the Vargans, viewed this as a potential threat. Not immediately, but in the future. If left unchecked, humanity could become a problem. The decision was made, better to eliminate the threat now, before it had a chance to grow. The Vargans, proud and arrogant, believed that this would be a simple, one-sided affair. They had already dominated species far more advanced than humanity. The coalition's fleet had superior numbers, better weapons, and faster ships. They expected the invasion to last no more than a few days. Earth, with its outdated ships and laughable defenses, would crumble quickly. The coalition gathered its forces and prepared to launch a preemptive strike, confident that this would be the last time they would need to concern themselves with humans. The invasion began without warning. Alien fleets poured into the solar system, targeting human outposts scattered throughout. Mining colonies, research stations, and military outposts on the outskirts of the system were the first to fall. The attacks were swift and brutal. Earth's outposts stood no chance against the overwhelming firepower of the coalition's ships. Human defenses, hastily organized and relying on the older, publicly known fleet, were obliterated. In a matter of hours, the outer defenses of the solar system had been wiped out. Panic spread across Earth as the news of the initial assault broke. Civilians and governments alike watched in horror as the alien forces seemed to close in with unstoppable force. The coalition had anticipated this reaction: fear, confusion, and eventual surrender. To them, it was all playing out as expected. The invasion was proceeding without resistance, and soon, Earth itself would fall. But Earth's leaders had anticipated this day. They had known for years that the coalition might make such a move, and they had been preparing for it in the shadows. The hidden fleet, the product of decades of secret development, was ready. It had been ready for some time, waiting for the right moment. And that moment had arrived. As the coalition fleet moved closer to Earth, the decision was made. The time for secrecy was over. Earth's leaders gave the order to activate the hidden fleet. From seemingly empty regions of space, asteroid belts, gas giant rings, and other remote locations, thousands of human ships began to decloak. What the aliens had mocked as a weak and laughable military presence was now revealed to be something far different. This was not the slow, clunky fleet they had ridiculed for so long. These ships were sleek, fast, and bristling with advanced weaponry. The sudden appearance of the hidden fleet caught the coalition entirely off guard. Their intelligence reports had suggested that Earth's forces were scattered, weak, and uncoordinated. But this was something they had not anticipated. In an instant, the arrogance and laughter that had dominated their perception of humanity turned to shock and disbelief. The coalition commanders, so certain of their victory, scrambled to respond. These human ships, far superior to anything they had expected, moved with precision and speed. Their propulsion systems allowed them to outmaneuver the coalition's forces, and their weapons, sleek, energy-based systems with pinpoint accuracy, began to cut through the coalition's defenses. The alien fleets, initially prepared for an easy victory, now found themselves on the back foot. The humans had somehow developed technology that rivaled, if not surpassed, the best the coalition had to offer. In the chaos of the sudden counterattack, the coalition commanders tried to reorganize. But it was too late. The hidden fleet had caught them completely by surprise, and their overconfidence had left them vulnerable. Human ships targeted the coalition's key vessels, disabling command ships and taking out critical supply lines with strategic precision. What had been a confident invasion now teetered on the brink of disaster. The alien reaction was a mix of confusion, panic, and disbelief. How had they missed this? How had humanity managed to hide such a fleet for so long? The coalition's intelligence networks, its spies, its surveillance systems, all had failed to uncover the truth. And now, they were paying the price for their arrogance. What was supposed to be a simple invasion had turned into a nightmare scenario, one that the coalition had never anticipated. The alien commanders, desperate to regain control, issued orders for retreat and regrouping. But their fleets were already scattered, and the human ships, with their advanced cloaking and propulsion systems, were picking them off one by one. The coalition had severely underestimated humanity's resilience and capacity for innovation. The hidden fleet had been a masterstroke, and now, it was showing the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the coalition's forces were losing ground. The once mighty invasion fleet was now in disarray, struggling to hold its position against a force it had once considered laughable. The galaxy watched in shock as the coalition, long believed to be untouchable, was being systematically pushed back by the very species it had mocked for so many years. Humanity, once the subject of ridicule, had turned the tables in spectacular fashion. The hidden fleet had not only saved Earth but had demonstrated to the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. The coalition's overconfidence had led them to this point, and now, they were paying the price for their hubris. The battle was far from over, but the momentum had shifted. The human fleet, having revealed its true power, was now in a position to strike back. The coalition, still reeling from the shock of the fleet's appearance, struggled to regroup. What had started as an invasion now looked more like a retreat, and the coalition's commanders knew it. With the hidden fleet now fully revealed, humanity was no longer the underdog. They had the upper hand, and they were prepared to use it. Earth's leaders, watching from their command centers, knew that this was the turning point. The alien coalition had come expecting to crush a defenseless planet, but instead, they had awakened a force they could not have imagined. The stage was set for the final confrontation. The human fleet, now fully engaged, prepared to strike back, ready to show the galaxy that Earth would not go down without a fight. And as the alien commanders tried to make sense of the situation, one thing became clear: they had severely underestimated humanity, and now, they were about to pay the price. The battle began with the alien coalition, still reeling from the shock of the hidden fleet's sudden appearance, trying to regain control. Their commanders hastily ordered a full-scale assault, hoping to crush humanity's defenses before the tide could fully turn. They opened fire with their most powerful weapons, aiming to overwhelm the human ships with sheer firepower. But what they had not anticipated was the effectiveness of humanity's new defenses. The multi-layered shields that protected the human fleet absorbed the initial barrage with ease. Advanced countermeasures neutralized the coalition's most potent weapons, rendering them nearly useless against the human ships. In response, humanity wasted no time. The human fleet retaliated with precision and deadly accuracy. Equipped with quantum weaponry far more advanced than anything the coalition had expected, human ships targeted the most critical points in the alien formations. Key vessels, including command ships and carriers, were systematically taken out in quick succession. Each shot was calculated, each strike devastating. The coalition's ships, so used to dominating the battlefield, were being dismantled before they even had a chance to organize. What had once seemed like an overwhelming force was now struggling to keep up. Despite their superior numbers, the alien fleet found itself outmaneuvered at every turn. The human ships, with their advanced propulsion systems, moved through space with unmatched speed and agility. Coalition ships, which had long relied on their size and firepower to dominate opponents, were simply too slow to counter the humans' rapid strikes. The human fleet's ability to coordinate multi-pronged attacks, combined with guerrilla-style tactics, left the coalition forces disoriented and vulnerable. The battle turned into a display of human tactical superiority. While the coalition had always relied on brute strength and overwhelming numbers, the human fleet demonstrated a level of adaptability and creativity that the aliens had not encountered before. Human commanders, having anticipated the coalition's strategies, exploited every weakness. They used hit-and-run tactics, drawing the alien ships into traps, then striking from unexpected angles. The coalition ships, large and cumbersome, struggled to keep up. The humans, who had once been mocked for their primitive technology, were now showing the galaxy what true innovation looked like. As the hours passed and more coalition ships were destroyed, panic began to spread through the alien ranks. The coalition's leaders, once so confident in their superiority, were now forced to confront the reality that they had severely misjudged humanity. Their forces were being decimated, and their once solid formations were crumbling. Communications between alien ships became frantic, with some commanders attempting to organize a retreat while others called for reinforcements that were too far away to help. The coalition's invasion, which had begun with such arrogance, was rapidly unraveling. Desperation set in. Some alien commanders, unable to cope with the chaos, ordered reckless attacks, throwing their ships into suicidal charges in a vain attempt to turn the tide. But these efforts only resulted in more losses. The human fleet, disciplined and strategic, picked off these desperate attacks one by one. The aliens, for all their power and numbers, were no match for the precision and coordination of humanity's forces. The battle that they had expected to win easily had turned into a nightmare scenario. The coalition's flagship, a massive vessel that served as the nerve center for their entire fleet, became the focal point of the final phase of the battle. Human commanders knew that disabling the flagship would shatter what little cohesion remained in the alien forces. Coordinating a series of rapid strikes, human ships targeted the flagship's shields and weapons systems. Despite its size and advanced technology, The flagship was no match for the combined assault. Its shields failed, its weapons were disabled, and soon it was left defenseless in the middle of the battlefield. With their flagship disabled, the Coalition's remaining forces fell into complete disarray. Some alien ships attempted to flee, while others surrendered, recognizing that the battle was lost. The once mighty alien fleet, which had come to Earth expecting an easy victory, was now in tatters. Their commanders, realizing that they had no hope of turning the tide, were forced to acknowledge defeat. The invasion had failed, and humanity stood victorious. The battle for survival had turned into a stunning triumph. Humanity, long underestimated and mocked by the rest of the galaxy, had proven itself to be a force to be reckoned with. The hidden fleet, developed in secret and revealed at the perfect moment, had not only defended Earth but had turned the tables on the most powerful coalition in the galaxy. The alien forces, once so confident in their dominance, had been humiliated. What had started as an invasion to crush humanity had ended with the coalition's defeat. In the aftermath of the battle, the message was clear. Humanity was no longer the minor species that the galaxy had once dismissed. They had demonstrated not only their resilience but their capacity for innovation and tactical brilliance. The Galactic Coalition, so certain of their superiority, had been brought to its knees by the very species they had ridiculed. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, and humanity now stood as a rising force. The Coalition's leaders, defeated and humiliated, were forced to negotiate terms of surrender. They had no choice but to recognize humanity's strength and independence. The galaxy, once so unified in its disdain for Earth, now had to come to terms with the fact that humanity was no longer a species to be trifled with. The mockery and arrogance that had defined the Coalition's attitude toward humans had turned into respect, and for some, fear. The victory marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. No longer confined to the fringes of the galaxy, they had earned their place among the stars. The hidden fleet, once the greatest secret in the solar system, had become a symbol of human ingenuity and perseverance. What had once been a source of ridicule was now a testament to what humanity could achieve when pushed to its limits. As the alien coalition limped away from the battlefield, they knew that the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity, the species they had once mocked, had proven itself in the most decisive way possible. And as the human fleet returned to Earth, their victory complete, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again.